Effective casting is crucial to any successful production. Drawing from my experiences on both sides of casting, as an actor and as a filmmaker, I'd like to offer you some personal insights and give you a couple of examples of my own experiences. My kind of overall view as an actor is to stay loose. And I don't mean laid back or carefree or anything like that. What I mean is that in several aspects of auditioning, it can take a toll on you. For any actor, especially when you begin, over time you learn techniques, hopefully, to deal with these things, but it's very stressful, emotionally, physically, psychologically, and you don't want to go into an audition tense. You know, you want to be relaxed. You want to be, I call loose. You want to be loose, you know, free in every aspect of your being. So I think that's really important. But it's not just the physical side of things. Of course, as an actor, you need to be prepared. Learn your lines, make some character choices, get as much information as you can about the character and the situation of the scene and the story in general. Just take in as much as you can. Don't be shy to ask for more information. You may not get it, but if you feel like you need more, ask for it. However, when you go into that audition, you can't be locked into one way of doing things. Excuse me. You have to be, again, a bit loose. By that I mean you need to be able to adapt. If you came in to an audition and the director asked you to do things a different way and you're so locked into one way that it just freaks you out and you can't do it and you can't adapt, that's not going to look good for you. And what you have to keep in mind is the director isn't just looking for someone who can play that character. They're looking for someone they can direct. So you have to be able to adapt. So again, stay loose. And when you're preparing, I think it helps to think about things from more than one way. Now, you may see the character and this scene that you're given in a certain way, but the director may see it completely different. And the producer may see it in a different way altogether as well. You just don't know. So when you're thinking about it, think of your way and think of other possible interpretations. And that might help you a little bit. But even if they throw something completely out there at you, you've got to be able to run with it. Simple as that. So don't lock in anything. Something popped into my mind then and now it's gone. Let me just quickly check my notes. That's what it was. Be bold. When you make your choices, be bold. What directors want more than anything is a character. They want to see a character, and I'm going to talk about this in the director part as well. They want to see something interesting, something different. You know, I'm sure, and I know from experience, that if you get people to audition, 95% of them are going to be pretty much the same. The ones that stand out are the people who are bold, try something different, who are unique, or bring something to it that no one else has thought of. So, you know, I mean, you have to assess yourself, risks on any particular job about how bold you go. But these days, the first audition is often a video audition, and you're often asked to do 2 versions. So you get a chance to do, take a shot at something different. You can do what you know, the script or the instructions for the audition are saying, but then you can take it in your second audition. You can take it in any direction you want. You can show yourself to the greatest potential, your greatest asset. So look at it like an opportunity to really put your best foot forward. So make the most of that opportunity to do another one, to show yourself. And when you're done when you're in the room, you know, you just got to be, you can't read anything into anybody. And that goes when you've left the room, when these are for physical auditions. Because I know that I will always say to people who come to audition in front of me, pleasantries when they're done, and, you know, wish them well. And it's just common courtesy. So you can't read anything into that. And even if it looks like all the people you're auditioning in front of are smiling and happy and laughing at what you're doing, or excited, or give you all sorts of positive reactions, it means nothing. It doesn't mean you've got the job, or you're right in there with a chance of it. And the opposite is true. You know, if you feel like you blew it, or everyone's sort of looking at you, or looking at their phones, or ignoring you, doesn't mean you haven't done well. So you've just got to kind of let all that slide. And again, that comes with experience. And when you walk out the door, you've got to learn to let it go. Just, you know, move on to the next thing. Go play football or tennis, or watch a film, or cook dinner, or do whatever you have to do. But leave that behind, because nothing you can do is going to change the outcome. Stressing about it, worrying about the mistakes you made, thinking you've nailed it, all those things, they don't help you, because it's completely out of your control. And something about being loose is that, I mentioned earlier, you never know what's going to happen. I don't think I've met an actor who hasn't had the experience of turning up, and this is particularly for commercials, you know, for big brands and things, that they've turned up to an audition and to be told there's a new script, which kind of throws you, the first time it happened, it kind of throws you completely and you panic a bit. Thankfully with commercials, they're usually not a whole lot of text. So, or they come in little chunks in the little scenes you have to do. So it's okay. And usually, I remember one friend of mine who was told this, and as soon as they picked up the script, they haven't even read it, their name was called to come in for an audition, come in for the audition. So they had to go, not even knowing anything about anything. So, you know, you've got to be able to run with that. You've got to be able to run with that, especially with commercials. So, you know, you've got to be loose. You know, you've got to roll with the punches. That doesn't mean you don't give it your best damn shot, and where you have the opportunity to prepare and research and do all that. Definitely. But you've got to also be ready for if everything's just thrown out the window, because that happens. I had an audition once where I'd prepared, and this is a commercial as well, and I was being led up to the audition room by someone. I was up about 10 steps. This experience is sort of burned into my brain. And as soon as we got to the door, the man's hand was on the handle. He's just about to open the door and let me into the director and all the other people. It's about half a dozen people there. And he just turned to me and said, "South Devon accent's okay, right?" And he just opened the door and let me in. I have no idea what a South Devon accent is. Devon, for people not in the UK, is on the south coast of England. And I have no idea. I know that in Devon and Cornwall and areas around there, they have very distinctive accents. But I had no idea what a South Devon accent was. So I just went in there and tried something. And I was honest. I said, I don't know. And they said, just try something. So I did. So you've got to be able to roll with it. But there is a cautionary note to being loose and rolling with it. Excuse me. And that is, I did an audition years ago now. All of these are years ago. I wouldn't tell stories about anything of recent times. I had an audition for a fantastic commercial. It was a 5-year deal. Money was great. And I had these four scripts I had to learn. Went to the audition, did the 4 scripts, it seemed to go okay. And at the end, they asked me to improvise something. And I just went with the first thing that popped into my head, which is what you would do if you were improvising as an actor, because you just don't have time to do anything else. You just go with whatever pops into your head. So that's what I did. On reflection, I should have taken a breath. I probably had time to consider. So, and the setting was on an old style rowing ship with a bunch of children. And for some reason, I don't know if I'd watched a movie the night before or something I'd read, the image that popped into my head was me as an overlord type, this big rowing boat with old style rowing boat with lots of oars and things, with all these children rowing and me whipping them with a whip. And this was a family product. And I remember when I finished looking up, or when they stopped me, looking up, and from the company, there was 2 younger and a few older people. And the younger people were at the front, and they had a little bit of a smile. But then I looked at the older people at the back, they were not happy. So, yeah, kind of mucked that up. And the actual casting director, who's a fantastic guy, always very, very helpful, actually leaned forward to me and just said, next time, don't whip the children. So, yeah. So you have, in those situations, you have time. So take time, if you have it, just and ask for it. You know, it's okay to say, can I just have a moment to think of what I might do here? And, you know, I'm sure, 99% of casting directors or casting situations would allow you that. Also, if you make a mistake or lose your lines or something, can I start again? Don't be shy to ask. It's okay. The person that you're in front of, or the people you're in front of, want the best you've got. They want to have a headache of choice. That's what they want. So, take what you need to give yourself the best opportunity to do your best work. Okay, let me just check my notes, see what I've forgotten. Preparation, lesson notes, choose. So what do I look for as a director? When I'm auditioning, far and away the most important thing is I want to see a character. I also want to see that someone can take direction, as I mentioned earlier. And the character thing is key, but I have to know that if I need to change things, that I'm working with someone who can change. So, because you never know what's going to happen when you're filming. especially with low budget indie filming, change is constant, and you may have to adapt the story element because all of a sudden an actor's gone, or all of a sudden a location which was key to the story is gone, and you're going to have to rework the story to tell the story from a different location which might have a different meaning. So you have to be able to, adapt, and you have to be able to work with actors who will adapt with you. Crucial. However, number one is character. I want to see character. I want you to come in the room and show me that you've embodied this character and you understand what's going on. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be what I understood it to be, but you've made some bold decisions and you've, gone with it. And then if it's totally off kilter, I can say, really like it. Can we try it this way? And, and see how that goes. So as an actor, as a director, I want to see that they can go in these different directions. And it's exciting to see actors because they bring in things which you don't even think of, you haven't thought of, and it enhances the whole film, the story, because they're coming with elements which excite you. So, that's the main thing, and I don't care if you fluff the lines. I don't care if you muck it up and want to start again. I don't care if you paraphrase the whole thing. I really, really don't care. Line learning is line learning. Every actor has to do it. What I want to see is character. Come with something interesting. And that's what's going to get you further with me anyway. And I suspect with every director. So, don't be shy to take a shot. And don't be shy, like I mentioned earlier, to ask to do it again. If you feel like you haven't done your best work, or maybe I've asked you to do it again a different way. And I might, just to see if your ability to take direction. So you might have a scene where you're playing that you're, the subtext is that you really hate this person and you're here under sufferance. And it might be great, and I might say, why don't you play it like you're madly in love with them is the subtext. And that you're not here under sufferance, you're here and you don't want to leave, that kind of thing. So play around. And it's fun playing around, as an actor and as a director. So let me just, you have to check if you have other characters as well. I want to see how, because you could come and audition for me and be absolutely brilliant. But if there's no chemistry between you and the person you're going to have most of your scenes with, then it's going to be difficult, because seeing that chemistry is key to making a story work. So, that's something that has to be tested. So don't feel bad if it doesn't work out because of chemistry. It's just the way of things. You have to test for chemistry. I did Kin Spirits. I didn't have much. I only auditioned the main characters, and I think even one of them I had to didn't have the opportunity to audition because of a late change. But the others, I got in to see how they worked together, and that was really, I mean, that was the deciding thing. So chemistry is something that's going to happen, the director's going to look for, and just the way it is. So again, if you're loose and open as an actor, that may help you with chemistry. I don't know. I'm not really you know, haven't done any research papers on it or anything, so I don't know. But you just have to accept that chemistry is something that people will test for. I'm a fairly laid-back sort of guy, but professionalism matters. You know, be on time, know your stuff. That's my Tommy Grelly. Be on time, know your stuff, be agreeable, you know, be flexible, because these are all qualities you want from a person when you're on set, when you're filming. And if you're not showing them in the audition, that will raise concerns with me. You know, if they're not a professional in the audition, what are they going to be like on set? So be a professional from the start. And the thing I mentioned about having the two auditions, doing the two versions of whatever it is for your audition. If you're ever auditioning for me, definitely do that. Definitely. I'll always want to see, you know, what I might have suggested for the character, and I would definitely be interested to see your interpretation of it, especially if it's something completely different from what I had in mind. You know, you could be on a better path than me, so who knows? I was going to say something then about, I'm not going to look at anyone that doesn't have a showreel. It's as simple as that. Because as an indie filmmaker, you don't have time really. And you just want to, I mean, if you have a decent budget, you can get a casting director and they can take care of all this. But for a lot of low budget indie filmmakers, you don't have that luxury. So you're calling on people you know and doing your own searches. And when you're searching, you're looking for people with showreels, because you want to be able to see if they can act, because that's the first port of call. I look at your showreel, can you act? In my opinion, of course, all of this stuff is subjective. And if you can act, then you're moving into the possibles category, you know? So, you know, I'm assuming I've searched on, you know, the parameters of the character I'm looking for, like height and age or whatever. But if you have no showreel, I'm not even going to look at you. So get something, shoot a scene with a friend, anything, just so people can see how you look on screen. Because I know people are perhaps becoming more aware of it now because of so much video that is shot, but how you look and how you think you look is different when it's seen through a camera. So any director will want to see you in action, acting. So make sure you have something. I think the key is to find a way to enjoy the process. Now that may take time, but if you enjoy it, you're going to be more relaxed naturally, whether you're the actor or the director looking, because it's stressful both sides. If you can do that, then you're going to enjoy it more, you're going to get more out of it, and you're going to make a more positive impression on each other, you know? And I think that's the best way to go about it. Stay loose and enjoy it. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to support me further, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. I hope to see you in the next one.